The curve with equation y equals to f of x passes through the point minus 1, 0, given that f of x is equals to 9x squared plus 4x minus 3. Find f of x. So they've given us f dash of x. That means the dy over dx. So we've got f dash of x. We want to find f of x. So to do that, we have to integrate f dash of x. So we can call f of x as y. It's the same thing. And we want to find f of x, so we'll do integration. And what does integration mean? This is the formula for integration. And x to the n, the expression to be integrated. So what you're going to integrate, you put it there. This elongated s, it means integrate. And when you integrate, you add 1 to the power and you divide by that new power. So you had n plus 1, and you divide by n plus 1. And then you add c, the constant of integration. And we need to find c after we integrate. And this is how we find c after you integrate. To find the constant of integration c, number 1, integrate the function to get the integral. Number 2, substitute the value of x and y of a point on the curve or the value of the function at a given point into the integrated function. Substitute x and y to find the value for c. And number 3, solve the equation to find c. So after you integrate, you follow 1, 2, and 3 to find c. And then that gives you your answer for y equals to, or they call it f of x equals to. Let's go ahead and do that example. So this is an exam questions for 5 marks. Let's integrate. We have 9x squared. When you integrate, you add 1 to the power, 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 gives you 3. And you divide by that 3. Plus 4x. How do you integrate 4x? It's 4x to the power 1. So you add 1 to the power. It becomes 4x to the power 2. And you divide by that 2. Minus 3. When you integrate 3, imagine it is 3x to the power 0. You add 1 there. It becomes 3 to the power x divided by the 1. So whenever you integrate a number, just add an x to it. That's the quick way to remember it. And then don't forget to add the constant of integration, c. Now, we need to simplify it. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then you have the 3x and you have c. We need now to find c. You go to the question, it tells us that when x is minus 1, y is 0. We put in those values for x and y. So the 0 for y comes there, and the minus 1 for x goes to replace x. So you replace x with minus 1, replace x with minus 1. So you get 3 times minus 1 cubed plus 2 times minus 1 squared minus 3 times minus 1 plus c. This would give you minus 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus c equals to 0. Minus 3 plus 3 is 0. So 2 plus c equals to 0. That means c is minus 2. Once you got the value for c, you just write out the equation f of x. Sometimes you call it y. It could be f of x or equals to y. 3x cubed, same like that. Plus 2x squared, same like that. Minus 3x, same like that. Minus c. C was what you were looking for. And that's your answer. So you have successfully integrated and find the value of c. Question number 5. dy over dx is equals to 3x to the minus a half minus 2x times root x, where x is greater than 0. Given that y equals to 10 and x equals to 4, find y in terms of x. Given each term in the simplest form, it's a 7-mark question. So to find y, we need to integrate. Because we've been given dy over dx, so to find y, we need to integrate. So integral of dx is the opposite of dy over dx. So when you integrate dy over dx with respect to x, this integral sign will cancel with that d, you end up with y. So this and this will cancel each other, you end up with y. So how do you integrate 3x to the minus a half? Minus 2x to the power 1 times x to the half. The 1 and the half add together, 1 plus a half, it gives you 3 over 2. So now you integrate 3x to the minus a half minus 2x to the power 3 over 2. To integrate, you add 1 to the power. Minus a half plus 1, it gives you a half, and you divide by that half. 3 over 2 plus 1, 3 over 2 plus 1, it gives you 5 over 2, and you divide by the 5 over 2. And don't forget to add c. So when you simplify 3 divided by a half, it gives you 6. Minus 2 divided by 5 over 2, it gives you minus 4 over 5. And when you add c, we need to find c. So we use x equals to 4, which is given in the question, and y equals to 10 to find c. Substitute those values. Where you see x, you put 4, and for y, you put 10. Put that in your calculator. You will get 10 is equal to 12 minus 128 over 5 plus c. Rearrange and solve it, you get c to be 118 over 5. Now you can write your equation. Y equals to 6x to the power half minus 4 over 5 x to the power 5 over 2 plus c, which is 118 over 5. So you've done two things: integrate, find c afterwards. Question number 6. Given that 6x plus 5x to the power 3 over 2 divided by root x can be written in the form 6x to the power p plus 5x to the power q. For 2 marks, write down the value of p and the value of q. So they want you to change this fraction to this linear form. So to change it, square root of x is the same as x to the power half. So you write square root of x, you change it to x to the power half. And x to the power half, you want to take it to the numerator. It becomes x to the minus a half. You are using this formula, x to the minus 1 over x to the n is the same as x to the minus n. So the x to the half goes to the numerator. It becomes x to the minus a half. Don't forget there's a minus there now. Now you remove the bracket. X to the minus a half times 6x and x to the minus a half times 5x to the 3 over 2. So when you multiply this times 6x, this is x to the power 1. So it's minus a half plus 1, which gives you a half. 1 minus a half is a half. And the 6 times x is just 6. The 6 would be out there, and the x will become x to the power half. Now you do the next one, x to the minus a half times x to the 3 over 2. You add them. 3 over 2 plus minus a half is the same as 1 and a half. 3 over 2 is 1 and a half minus a half. It gives you 1. So you get x to the 1, and then you have the 5. So 6x to the half plus 5x to the power 1. So what is your p? Your p is the half, and your q is the 1 that is up there. For part B, we are given that dy over dx is equal to that expression, and that y is 100, and when x is equal to 9. Find y in terms of x, simplifying the coefficients of each term. What they want you to do for this question is to find y. But we are given dy over dx, so we have to integrate. When you integrate, it gets rid of the dy, and it gives you y. So we need to integrate that expression that we had changed. We had changed this to this expression. We need to integrate that. It's easier to integrate this. When you integrate, you add 1 to the power and divide by the new power. So half plus 1 is 3 over 2, and then you divide by 3 over 2. This is 5x to the power 1. You add 1 to that, it becomes 5x squared, and then you divide by the 2. So 6 divided by 3 over 2, it gives you 4, plus the 5 over 2x squared, and we add c. Now that we've integrated, we need to find c. To find c, we sub in the values. We are given that x is 9 and y is 100. So we put 9 where we see x and put 100 for y. So it's 4 times 9 to the power 3 over 2 plus 5 over 2 times 9 squared plus c. You put all of this in your calculator. 4 times 9 to the 3 over 2 will gives you 108. 5 times 9 squared over 2 gives you 405 over 2. Plus c is equals to 100. Rearrange and solve that, you get c to be minus 421 over 2. You found c. You can now write the equation. Y equals to 4x to the 3 over 2 plus 5x squared over 2, and then you add c. The c now is minus 421 over 2. And that's your answer. So you have successfully integrated, and then you have found the value for c. So congratulations and thank you to the students who asked this question out. These are very common questions in exams.